soon-to-be married life?
How
is that is so weird, Ash, because you know what I mean? Like, I've known you so long.
I know.
And it is crazy. I'm like, and when I seen that, I was like, like, I was super hyped.
I know, I never thought I'd get mared.
But
as weird as that
cool,
sounds,
man.
because I was like, marriage, just a piece of paper, what is that?
Yeah.
But
how did he propose?
4th of July.
Oh, word.
So he had the ring for a while, I guess, and just didn't know. He wanted to propose to me at my a restaurant, but then plans fell through with that. So he was just like, damn, when am I going to do it?
Right.
And then we were at his family's house, and just everyone being there and just vibing and just having a fun time with the family. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do it tonight, I guess. But then he didn't want to do it that night because Jace wasn't there. Oh. And he really wanted Jace to be there. But then he was like, but it feels like the right moment. And then, I don't know, he just pulled me to the side. Didn't even tell anybody. So nobody really knew what was going on.
Oh, really?
He was kind of just like spoke to me, said some few words, and then like proposed. And I was just like, oh my God.
Like that is, did you cry?
I did cry.
Did you
cry? I knew it
was
coming because we've talked about it.
Right.
But I didn't know when, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so... I mean, I cried, and then also I knew people were going to want to take photos, and I had like shit that day because we had just hiked a really intense hike, and then we got home, showered, and then we went out there, and I was like, I'm not going to get ready. We're just going to go watch fireworks. Yeah. I was like, you want to propose, but I was like, crap.
Yeah, you could have let me, at least know.
Yeah, but at the same time, he sees me like that every day, so that's fine.
Right. That's real. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, when I saw the post of you getting proposed to, or the whole engagement, I was like super high. Like, that's crazy. Like, Ashley, like, that's insane.
Who would have put a ring on that? No, I'm kidding.
No, not even like that. Just because you always seem very like free spirited too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like very outgoing.
Yeah, I really spoke my mind against marriage for the longest time. I don't know. It was weird how it came about. How we even talked about it.
Yeah.
But we're both in the state. Like, we're both almost the same age. But it's kind of like coming from like the toxic relationships I've had in the past, or just dealing with like society today, like the generation today, they just date to just for stupid reasons, not even right. And I kind of just gave up. I was like, nah, I don't want to date no more. I want to forget. Guys are stupid. Bunch of fuck boys. And then he actually only had one girlfriend. It was his senior year, so he kind of didn't even date anyone till then. Like he didn't. So like when we met each other, we hung out a lot, we were friends, and then it was weird because I was like, I like you, and he's like, I like you too. But,
so awesome.
It was weird because it was like, I didn't want a relationship, and he didn't want a relationship because he didn't date for a long time. And so we kind of were like, well...
What do we do?
Yeah, so we kind of friend-zoned each other for a second. And when that happened, I think things changed, and then we started dating, and then it was more like, we were both at the state of mind of like, but we don't date just to date. Like, we're date to take things serious. Like,
sure. How old is Jace now?
He is 6.
That's crazy, man.
I know. So I don't know if you knew, but he got diagnosed with autism.
Really? No, I didn't know.
Yeah, higher functioning.
What does that mean, higher functioning?
So I guess a lot of the traits in autistic children is they don't really make eye contact. There are a lot of like social...
awkwardness?
Yeah, like they just don't know how to socialize in a sense. They can get overwhelmed easily. A lot of sensory sensitivities. He has some of those traits, but he'll make eye contact with you. He loves talking to strangers. He's out there, but there's other situations where he doesn't know when things are socially not okay. He doesn't know boundaries. So we had a whole situation like for years that doctors weren't listening to me. They're like, no, he makes eye contact, and there's this and there's that. He may be ADHD, and I'm like, okay, either I'm wrong or they're right or vice versa. Like, but I just knew that he needed help because school. And then once he got into kindergarten last year, they were noticing it too. We transferred to he's at, I think, in his 4th school now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And well, the first one, when we started school for him, we were living in a certain area, and then we moved like a week after school started.
Okay.
So then because we moved, they had to move us to that zone.
Right.
And then that's when they realized, okay, this kid needs assistance in certain areas. And so they tried working things out, like, shortening his day, doing a different schedule for him. And then from there, they did like an IEP, which is an individualized, like a special program, like for like different classroom setting for them.
Okay.
And then from there, they transferred him to another school, which is like a
this sounds like so much already.
I know. I was like stressed out to the max last year. And then was like, my poor child.
Yeah, man.
But, you know, it was all the right steps to lead us to where we are now. But that second school we went to was like more of a behavioral classroom. While he was there, they were like, at the end of the school year, they're like, you know, I think next year we're going to transfer him to a different school because they have an autism program. And they basically told me, like, they think he's autistic.
Okay.
I'm like, you guys can't just diagnose him because the doctors keep ignoring me. But they're like, you know, you have to go and do it yourself. So I had to go through the whole, like, waiting list in Spokane because a lot of Tri-Cities places here don't accept, like, state insurance to get them diagnosed.
Okay.
So we took him to Spokane and then sat with the doctor this last summer, like in August, this summer. And, yeah, basically he was like, you know, just heads up, like, I may or may not diagnose him. Like,
what?
I'm just going to, you know, like, give you my input. Like, they just sit there with you, chat with you, you know, take your money and see where they...
You may or may have, bro, well, I may or may not have to pay your ass.
Yeah. No, I was thinking, you know, like, I think about all the time, like, if I still lived in Othello, like, would have I got this
Help?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
man,
not to clown on
probably not.
Othello, but...
But I mean, it's a small town, you know what I mean? Like,
And I feel like you know, autism, I never knew about it.
dude,
So, like, Jace was a years old, maybe year and a half, because his family, actually, because his dad has, like, family members that are out in the spectrum.
yeah.
And they mentioned it to me about Jace, because there was little traits about him that were, like, OCD-like, and that's, like, one of their traits.
Right.
And I was like, nah. There's a lot. Like, I've seen, or I've read articles where people don't even get diagnosed till they're adults because it was so uncommon to have, like, that diagnosis back then. And then now I feel like we can throw labels on everything.
Yeah, and I mean, because back then it was like anything, it was either you were normal or you were special. There was no anything else, you know what I'm saying? That was it. There was like a special class, there was like a normal class. It was just very black and white type of thing,
Yeah.
you know? So I just
For
think
sure.
the science and knowledge just wasn't there at the time. And
Yeah, so it's going good. Things are going good with him. Now that I understand his mind, there's this book that I read called Uniquely Human. And it just explains, like, you know, they just have just the way they think, their mindset, their sensitivities. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, damn, okay, now I understand. And just being that a parent to a kid that's that special, I'm like, well, God knew I needed. Like, I can be his, you know.
yeah, you gotta be his backbone, you know what I mean? Somebody he can go to.
God knew I needed patience.
Man,
Pretty dope.
that's great. And how is it like, you know, how's the whole co-parenting thing?
It can get rough.
Yeah.
It was rough at first because we hated each other when we first split up.
Oh, right.
You know, there's that resentment because you kind of like wanted things to work and you still kind of love that person, but it's like,
Right.
okay, well, we gotta, you know, not think of ourselves and think of our child. And
Right. Because I mean, it's super like, you know, common to just, you know, it's
Things
just
not
life.
working.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just life in general. Like
well, when I met his dad, he was already co-parenting with someone else.
Right.
Like, so just being that girlfriend looking on the inside out, I guess, like
Yeah.
seeing what he had to deal with and the stress with that, like I tried not to bring that stress upon him.
Right. To separate the emotion that you have for this person, and then but also being able to understand, like, we have a child together and we gotta, I think that's real, like, that has to be hard, you know what I mean? I would imagine, at least. Like, I try to put myself in that position, you know, a lot of times where I just, you know, think about it, like, man, that has to be difficult, you know, like, you know how, like, a lot of times you'll have, like, triggers, like, certain things you just get, like, flashed back into, like, a moment, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, how do you deal with that, you know?
Yeah, it's like kind of like when you first break up and you're like, I can't imagine you dating someone else and bringing someone else around my kid. Like,
yeah,
it sucks.
That part.
It sucks, and we did have those talks, and it sucked. But it's like, well, it is what it is. Like, we're toxic, and it sucks to even forced to be in a relationship with each other and bring that toxic life to, like, your child, like around your child.
Yeah.
You know, it just wasn't healthy. So we had to come to an agreement. But okay, well, we're not really good for each other.
Yeah.
You just gotta talk it out, and then now, like, we've actually reached like a relationship to where we're hella cool with each other, and it helps when whoever you're dating isn't a jealous person. Like, they have to accept the fact that that person, your baby daddy, your baby mama, is always gonna be there. And recently we had, on Jace's birthday, you know, we all went to Chuck E. Cheese together. We can all take a group photo together,
Yeah.
and it's so dope because Jace is like, you know, I have 2 daddies.
That's cool.
And,
man.
like, you know, 3 grandmas, and because it's just like a whole big family. So
Yeah.
like in my darkest times I would self-reflect a lot, and I turned to like the spirituality aspect, like holistic, you know, like the whole rocks and meditation and tarot card reading and all that. One of my first like psychic readings or like tarot readings that I got, I was tripping out. Like at the time, the things she was telling me, I was like, all right, a little confused, a little lost in the sauce. But a year after that, like a year whole later, like everything unraveled of what she was saying, and I was like, damn, okay. Or like maybe 2 years later, like something she mentioned happened, you know, and that also can play an effect. Like, okay, she spoke into existence, and it was on your mind,
right? But
at the same time, it wasn't on my mind until like something happened and I realized it, and I was like, okay, either she put like some juju in my life, or you know, it's for real. But you know, I kept getting readings, and I kept, you know, going to these fairs. And another reading that I had, you know, was about like Jace and being like, because I was lost, I was confused, I was stressed out, you know, like what was going on with him, and I needed help. And one of the gals that I had a reading with actually told me that he was autistic. And then I went to her a year later, and I told her, okay, we're getting closer to getting him diagnosed. You're probably right. She's like, well, let me know when you do get him diagnosed. Like, reach out to me. She gave me her card. And then I had was stressing about like co-parenting, as in like dating my fiance now. Before we got engaged, like it was kind of hard. Like it's kind of hard to have someone who doesn't have kids be a parent. So you know, I was like asking for like guidance or what was going on with that. And she's like, you guys living together? And I said, yeah. She's like, you're gonna get married like within the year. And this was in February when this happened, like last February. And I was like, oh, okay. And what do you know, we got like engaged.
That
like
is crazy.
6 months later. And I was like, and I told him that I was like, hey, she says we're gonna get married soon. He's like, huh. So like, I highly encourage people to go and not think negative about it, because
I think my fear is always like they're gonna be like, you're gonna die. Like, yo, what? You know, like, but I heard they can't tell you that.
No, they can't tell you anything truly negative.
Good. I don't want to hear nothing negative. Just give me all the good.
Yeah, it's more of like angel card type. Like, it's not like what you see in the movies where like, oh, the death card pulled up.
Oh, fuck. That's the one I'm scared of. That's what I think. I think of like the movie, like Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
Where they pull it up and the girl's like, oh shit, never mind. We can't. I'm afraid of that. Like, nah, man. I'd be so scared if that lady did that.
So they cover like I said, Crime Junkies covers murders, missing peoples, conspiracy theories, like just all true stories. Like they cover it real quick, like podcast, and I love listening to it. And just listening to all that spooky stuff, sometimes it creeps you out. Like if I go missing, and they say, you know, you should have if I go missing folders, like. And my fiance was like, wouldn't you be setting yourself up then? Kind of like, you know, speaking things into existence. I was like, yes, but also like
it's a backup plan.
You never fucking know. There's a lot of weird shit going on out there these days.
Weirdos out there, man.
Like sex trafficking is huge right now.
That shit is so terrifying, man. That's so scary. Now you see like these horrifying videos of like girls like getting picked up, like just putting gas. Like it's so crazy.
So that's why I was like, okay, we're gonna track each other.
And what is that video? Like, I mean, not the video, the folder. What do you do?
I can't remember. I know there's like passwords to like your bank account or whatever, like so you know your last transactions instead of getting those reports from the banks. I think you have to wait a while from the bank, and you also have to definitely wait a long time from like cell phones, like where your cell phone was last
tower
pinged.
Or whatever.
So just having that, I don't know if it was like DNA stuff, or I can't remember exactly what was in it, but there is, and they actually do have like a DNA kit that you can have, like you can buy from their website or something. One of the like I encourage couples to do is create a dream board with each other, like magazine cutouts, you know, of things that you want in the future, and pinning it on a board together, just hanging it up on a wall. We have ours in our bedroom. And it's got like, you know, what kind of car I want, what kind of wedding dress I want, what kind of wedding ring I want, where we want to vacation at. He's got like future like cars that he wants, things that he wants to do.
Did you put the ring before he got you the ring or after the ring?
Before. It wasn't the same ring.
Was
but
he like, that's an expensive ass ring?
Maybe down the road.
The renewals.
Yeah, but just put what you want up there. You know, where you want to vacate to. Adulting, life.
Adulting is, it's not as fun as it made it seem as a kid. Like, yo, I can drive, I got my own money, I can do whatever I
can't wait till
want.
I'm 18 so I can move out.
I hate you, Mom. I'd say that to myself, though, because my mom would whoop my ass if I said that.
Right.
Alrighty.
Well, hopefully.
Thank you, Ashley.
That works out for you. Good luck with it.
Thank you for being on, and have a great night.
You too.
See you later.